Cracking the RC code. Because the truth.
We'll get it right, guys.
Welcome to the RC Conspiracies Podcast. Get your decoder rings ready and put on those tinfoil hats because your fearless leader is here. Please welcome your host, the lead RC conspiracist, Tony Cece. Tony Cece. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies Podcast.
Hey, what is going on, guys? I am messing everything up on my end. Yay me. Hey, yeah, it's been a crazy day. It's going to be a crazy week and next week. So I wasn't going to come live today, but I decided, what the heck? I'm not going to be able to go live next week. Let's do it. So we're here. We're just going to talk about some stuff, some breaking news per se. Curious what you guys think it is. It's not the Lotera that came out last week that we didn't really talk too much about. Lots of guys in here. Riff Raps, what's going on? Brian Chambers, Super Drake's RC. I've got my allergies are kicking in with all the pollen in the air, so I got dry eyes. Super Drake's, Gyna Moose, Josh Rhodes. Guys, didn't miss anything yet. Brian Chambers. I saw Sean's RC Adventures in here. Tell me I was late, as well as Green Frog. Sorry, guys. We're here now. We got this. So, breaking news. We're just going to jump into it today. Let's just jump in. So, not going to be here next week. Let you guys know I'm going to be out of town on work shoots and things. And, man, my computer is just running like crap today. Everything keeps on shutting down, which is so unusual for a Mac. I think it's a stupid freaking GoPro card again being corrupted, and I'm trying to get some files off it from today, which is why I'm late the second time. I was trying to get some stuff imported, but it just keeps saying like that there's errors and it won't import, and everything I try and pull off this stupid card won't work. So I'm probably going to have to just save it and try it on a different computer and just move it across on I don't know what. So I'm breaking my computer with the stinking GoPros, which I love to hate. Every time you do something cool, they always seem to corrupt the card, and you just never know when you can trust them. Yes, gotta love it. So, what I want to talk about today is something interesting. It's kind of a, how do I say it? It's a little bit of a spoiler alert for my next two videos. So you guys will be on the ground floor. You'll know what's coming in the next videos. They're still worth watching because you'll see it in more detail. I'm going to show it here because I feel like it's a little bit easier for me to explain my problem that I created. And it's not something that you guys, I think, expect. So let's go ahead and get on in it. Anybody have any guesses before we just get in and on it? Anybody guessing? I'm watching your chat over here. The Mac is the problem. The Mac, I haven't turned this Mac off in probably a month. It just always runs. I've been kicking out video after video after video for clients like crazy. No issues. And then I'm trying to get this video done that I shot earlier in the week, I guess. And, nothing going, man. Sean's RC Adventure sinks a new monster truck. Riff Raff's a new Traxxas, Moe's Garage. Oh, where was that one? Hey, Daddy says Banggood bought Vanquish. That would be hilarious after last week's talk over on the Scale Builders Guild and Harley Designs. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago now. Super Drake's been throwing out guesses the last 10 minutes. Green Frog, I keep buying new SD cards. I buy the expensive Pro ones, and they only last. Extreme Pro V30 card, which is more than enough. I'm not even shooting at 4K, so it's more than enough. These are SanDisk, the red and black Extreme Pros. There's no reason it shouldn't work. It happens, and I just buy new ones because I don't trust the card anymore. I could probably format it, but not worth trying. New Techno. King Stoic says, I got to test the Vortex this past weekend. Motor seized up. Thinking a Big Rock instead. Were you driving JTRCs by any chance, King Stoic? Guy in a moose says, I'm not talking about his comment and proving his point. I didn't see his comment. We all know it's coming, he says. Solid axle monster truck from Traxxas. So you think that me not saying it is proving your point? Oh, that's a good idea, Sean's RC. Transfer it from your GoPro to your phone app and then download it from your phone. Good deal. All right, so actually, King Stoic, yes, you were driving JTs. Okay. Funny enough, King Stoic accidentally wins the game. So the breaking was not a breaking news. It was news of a break, and the break was my Vortex, and you can see all of these plastic shavings in here. Yeah, me, toasted my spur gear, big time. So, there's a lot of reasons why I think it happened, and that's why I kind of want to go through it in a live setting like this, where we can kind of talk through things. And don't like the lighting. So here's what happened, and I think, yes, the spur gear was too tight. Now, here's the deal with that, though. I just now was able to get through all of the footage. I uploaded that video that was a kind of just a mashup, slow motion, all of that. But my intention was to make a longer video and show everybody it running, show how all the tricks link up as I was driving it. And so I have a whole video that's 18 minutes long currently of it running and showing you guys it in action. On the tabletop. Here we go. We'll play up a little bit of it here. So it was just going to be this kind of footage, just showing linked trick after linked trick, and just, on throttle the whole time. Let's actually pull it up here, let you guys have a little bit more look at it. But just bashing it. So there's a couple things about it that we'll talk about here. We'll let it play for a little bit here on the side. So here's the deal. I got this car Tuesday evening, and I didn't know what it was, honestly. I opened the box, and because Voss from Aussie RC Playground had, found an image, and they'd been out and they posted it. People had been posting it weeks ago, and in my mind, I thought it was already released. I almost made the mistake of taking a picture of it and posting it, saying I got one, that I got it. Luckily, I didn't, because I found out that it hadn't been released yet. because I actually mentioned them, like, this is cool. What's this for? These have been out for a little bit. It wasn't something I'd have expected to have gotten because they'd already been released. And I thought it's kind of odd. Maybe they're trying to do a second push on it. Well, it's because I didn't know that it hadn't actually been released yet. I almost let the cat out of the bag on Tuesday night. Good thing I didn't. Wednesday, so I sent a message and they said, "Oh, don't post anything till Thursday." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I almost just totally jacked this up because there's nothing with it. I didn't see any notes or anything in it, or I just kind of opened the box, peeked in. But I was in busy mode. I've been in busy mode for the past month, just trying to hustle, make a living, and video project after video project, freelance stuff, and deadlines. So I'm up late most nights, 2 a.m., get up at 6 a.m., do the YouTube thing whenever I can in the evenings. And so I had to then squeeze in this video of an unboxing for it on Wednesday, which was already packed with Zoom meetings and Zoom edit sessions and all this stuff I had to do. So I took a quick break and set everything up over on my table, which I had to tear out down all the VS410 stuff that was still sitting over there. And so all of that. And then I have to get a run video of it because it's going to rain and I'm going to be busy the next couple of days and I won't be able to get footage of it to get it running and all that. So I finished the unboxing. But then I also had to shoot the video for, or wanted to, of that Spectrum module in it because I thought this is perfect for it. Stuck it in there, made a video about that so that I could then go out and run it. So I did 2 kind of bench videos. And then after dinner, I mean, if you watch the video, by the end, there's no sunlight left. It's tucked behind. Let's see here. Let me pull it up again. Here we go. It's tucked. It's getting dark. Wait for it. So yeah, it's dusk now. The sun is down below my house pretty much at this point. Grainy. I'm just fighting to get some footage with whatever remaining daylight is left. All right. I'm going to stop storytelling for a second, see what you guys are saying, because you might have questions that I should be answering as I go. Oops, spur was too tight. Dang, me too. King Stoke, I was the first because I actually talked to JT about it. So the main thing is I don't think it's an actual issue because these motors have been in a lot of things. I think as I watched the video back, and that's why I wanted to do this on a live where I could explain it and show all of the pieces in one, because it's going to be hard to do and not kind of answer questions that I know are going to be coming from people like you guys. You'll see in a second what the problem is. And it's really funny when I discovered it finally today, because I did a video using the 8,000 milliamp hour batteries from Genzace in my Mojave. About 6 minutes in, I said, you know what? I should check the temps on the motor. I went in, boom, hot to the touch. Wow, okay. Get my temp gun. It's 170. All right, let's stop this. Let's let it cool. Now, cool thing about these batteries is you can run 20 minutes or so on a set of batteries, 6S. The problem is your car might not be able to handle that long of a red time. And so circling back as I'm saying this today, I'm like, oh my gosh, I ran 2 straight 3S packs on throttle the whole time. And I don't even know that I hit LiPo cutoff. And I said I did in the video, but when I went back and watched the time, I think I hit a temp cutoff. So I think it shut down because of heat. And I never looked. I just said, oh, okay, battery's dead. I went and got another battery and slapped that bad boy in there and drove it more, which was in the garage. So it was a little walking time, but not enough for when those motors get heated up, man, they take a minute to cool down. So, Kagan, breaking news, Tony broken RC. Yes. So here's the thing. These are bigger wheels than the Big Rock. They're geared same across this whole lineup for the most part. They do have fans on them, but they have adjustable gear mesh, right? And so I noticed as well when I'm watching the video, and you guys won't be able to see this until I'm posting this whole thing up. You know, it's like 18 minutes of run footage. You can hear it change. Now, I'm out there running, and I'm thinking about the daylight going down, and my ear isn't picking up the noises like the camera is. If you've ever heard a what's that motor by Holmes Hall? The Revolver. If you've ever heard one of those in person, they're loud. But when you hear it on camera, they are really loud. So there's certain things that the camera picks up that you might not hear as well. And my hearing's kind of, you know, I played in punk rock bands through high school and college. And we always played way too loud. You know, our amps went to 11 and we kept them there. So I feel like my audio is peaking a bit. Now we're talking. All right. So Riffraff should have metal gears at that price. The price difference. Let's talk about that for a second. Let's shift gears. We'll get back to this because there's stuff to talk about, and a lot of it is driver error, and a lot of it is that we're trying so hard to push this stuff out and in timely manner that we're breaking a lot of rules and things that I wouldn't do like I did today, where I wasn't feeling the rush of, man, if I don't get this shot edited and up today, you know, I'm behind the game. So we'll talk about that, but it should have metal gears at this price. So here's the price difference. There's over $100 in difference in price for the electronics in this car than any of the other 3S. If you pull up the pricing, I think the receiver that comes in the Big Rock or in the 3S lineup is $15. The receiver that comes in the Vortex is $70. The controller or the transmitter that comes in the Vortex is like $80. And it's like 30 or 40 for the one that goes into the Big Rock and all the rest of the 3S lineup. So there's actually like if you were to pay straight retail price and go in and switch them out, you'd be paying on top of the car $150 more. But you subtract what the other parts in there, if you were to just take them out, like, okay, so these were in here, so now I'm having double parts, it would still be $100 difference in price if you weren't charged for the other ones that came in the car. They're charging you $50 more. So instead of $319 or $329, what's the pricing difference? Is it $50 or $60? Regardless, it's not the full price difference that you're paying, and that's really where that price comes from. And back when the first STX2 came in, everyone said we'd pay more money to have a better controller in there. So they put in a little bit better one. Traxxas uses the excuse that our cars are so expensive because we have all this technology and stuff. Our radios are so much better than anything you'd get with an Arma. So I feel like Arma's kind of playing that middle ground where they're like, okay, well, Traxxas keeps saying they've got this TQI, whatever, and there's TSM. So we'll insert our DX3 and we'll put in the AVC technology. And so we have one in our lineup. It's still below the price of a Rustler, and it has those features in it. I don't know that that's what they're doing. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Like the communication that I have with them is almost zero. Like I said, I didn't even know that I was getting it until it showed up on my doorstep on Tuesday night, and no forewarning, none of that. So like Tom Lee was saying in his video, if you guys watch Tom Lee's stuff, same thing, unaware, hadn't planned for it. Grateful for it for sure. Yeah. I mean, it gets eyeballs anytime there's something out there that not everybody has, but you want to know about it. Right. So all of that said, that's where the price difference is. It's not gearing. All of the rest of it is the same as a 3S. You do now get the smart ESC as well. And that's something that I should have been paying attention to. And I'm going to talk about that right now. So in this video, it ends right before I talk here. And I should have paid more attention to it and got temps, but I was so busy trying to get that last footage of me talking about how great it was before the sun went down that I did not get a temp gun or even check the motor. But here, watch this, guys. Here's how crazy this is. Whoops, hold on. Ooh, look at our temps, 230. All right, guys, so I don't know how the 230 degrees Fahrenheit are the temps of the ESC. Usually when your ESC and the stuff has gotten that hot, the motor is smoking, man. So I think what happened is I totally overheated the thing. And so when you overheat a motor for too long, everything inside kind of breaks apart, right? And stuff, magnets and all that just let loose, and then you start getting it seizing up, right? Or bearing seize. I totally smoked it, and it's my fault. So, yeah. But here's the thing: it was still driving, right? So let me show you guys this a little bit different way too, because there's different ways that you look at this, and you start to notice things. That run footage from me putting in that second battery until it dies, 5,000 mAh, is this clip here. So let's say new project, and we're going to drop in this whole clip, whatever length it is. Here's bashing, and then at the end of it, that's not even it. It's less than that I even got. So it must be this one. Yep. All right, here it is. So I want this whole clip. I'm going to go up to where I started it, right there. Who cares what my video rate is? Let's just say 4K 30. 8 minutes before I said it was too hot. That is from get-go start. Well, there's a little bit more. There's some smoke there. 8:48. 8 minutes, 48 seconds is what I got because I'd already run it solid for that 15 minutes to lipo cutoff. And then I stuck in another battery. And then it literally, I was doing like a backwards donut and it just died. Somewhere in here. But the other thing is the gear mesh, as I was driving, I had some really hard crashes. I think this is where I do it. Yeah. Just shut off. It didn't even go into slow-mo, whatever. It just shut down. So, all right. So that's 8 minutes into a brand new, fresh 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Should have gone probably 12 minutes. I mean, that was pretty hard on it, but 230 degrees. I think the ESC shut off at that point. I didn't stick my finger in there and test it again because I was so focused on trying to get then the wrap up of the video that I didn't, and I wasn't thinking about it. There was just too much going on, and I was trying to do too many things, and I just totally overlooked all of the signs, the warning signs that were screaming at me, you know? So, and the other thing is I didn't have the app open, and I should have, because I pulled up the app at the end to check the voltage on the battery. And so I opened up the app, the dashboard app, and then that's why I didn't get an alert telling me that it was overheating, is because I was recording with my phone as well, so I'd have stuff for Instagram that I could quickly and easily post. And so not the next day, we had all that rain stuff that happened, but I wanted to go out and do a speed run. And that is when the motor actually failed. and that footage is now gone. I have it imported. Apparently, it went onto a different hard drive during that import process. Yay. It should be on the memory card. Let me get it here. See if it'll show it for a second. Because we went out, we got 49 miles per hour stock 3S. Pretty typical across the lineup. And it was out in the sun. Here we are. We got it loaded up. And then we go upside down mode. Down. And then that was it. We had to walk all the way down because it wouldn't come back to us. All right. That's it. Some days you win some days you lose some. Today we lost some. And there's a car. I thought that the motor had slipped and we stripped the spur gear. That's what I thought happened. Upon coming back and opening up everything, we do a whole thing. I was expected either the motor slipped and it was off the pinion or off of the spur gear or something worse. What happened is we totally chewed it out. So what happened is once everything inside the motor went, bearing or whatever, the motor shaft would wobble. And I think that's what killed it the rest of the way. But the other sign that I wasn't paying attention to is that the noise changed of it driving in the bash video. So I think one of the heavy hits that I had, some really big, you'll see in the video, I pogo like lawn darted off the big jumps into another jump. I landed hard on the side on one. I think it probably slid the motor a little bit because I noticed that the sound of it definitely sounds like it's tight, which is going to do a couple things. It's going to generate heat as you drive because of the struggle that the motor's being put under when it's tight like that. And then I just continued to bash it for another like 7 minutes that way. And that's when it shut down. And then I didn't even do anything with it. I didn't know that there was an issue. And I just tried to do the speed run with it. And it was still tight. And that's when it popped. So 50 miles an hour. Boom. So anyway, that is kind of what. Yeah. Yeah, 2:30. It should have shut itself off. Yeah, that's about when they do. And I think that's why it shut off. Captain Flannel, 2:30 it should set itself off. I think that's the final shutdown point. Because that's when it used to shut down with the infraction was about 2:30. Yeah, 23 minutes, 48 seconds of vortex bashing blasting. Ricky Rat's a Haas I bought for $470. Check today, it's $450 now. Yeah, they lowered the price on it. You don't think that's what happened with JT's? You wonder what happened there. I know he had put on the speed gear, so if he hadn't turned that back off and you guys were still bashing it, that could have been a heat thing as well. Because I know he put on the 20 tooth going for the 60 miles per hour. So it'd be a question of whether or not it was back to back down or not. But I really think mine, I toasted pretty good. Based on everything that I know about what happened. And I've only done it one other time. And it was with a VXL Traxxas where I was just having too much of a good time and really thick grass. And I just kept pushing it. And same thing. Bearings, everything gone, just toasted it. And I just replaced the whole thing. But yeah. So I just went ahead and ordered a new motor on Jenny's RC. They have it for $40 because I have that motor in my other cars and I haven't had any issues with it. But they also, because I went and watched, after watching my videos in here, I went and watched V2 vids. I went and watched some of the JTs. And I was listening for that sound because I could definitely hear, if you listen to it, that slipper going, you can hear the gears running in it for sure. So early on, you just get that little whir noise. Which is pretty normal. Somewhere in here, I put in a little warning for myself. I put down a little text on the screen when I finally really heard it here. It's much more crunchy. You'll hear here especially. Hear that at the end of it? That that's the sound that I don't like the sound of very much. There's a little bit of a growl with that whine. And that's 13 minutes in, and then I just keep going. But I think it's even before that I start to hear it. Yeah, a little bit here at 12. Just sounds a little tight to me, and I should have stopped. But I didn't. So, I mean, it comes down to, I've never had that really with the Big Rock. The Big Rock, I get that whir noise that they make with that plastic spur gear, but that little crunchiness in there, I'm not liking too much. But the more resistance you get, yeah, it's going to work harder and it'll heat up faster. So, I ignored what she was saying, but I don't think it was as pronounced in person as it was what the camera's picking up as far as the frequency noises of it. Because I don't recall it doing that when I was out there, but it was very evident as I watched it back today, and I was like, ooh, that sounds problematic. And then I noticed the time code of things, and I'm like, man. And then I said 230 degrees, which I don't remember saying that even. I don't even remember that realization of that temperature. Because I'd asked if I'd sent, them a notice of it, whatever. I actually send it back in so they can test it with everything on it. But yeah. And they're like, was it hot? I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so. And then I watched the video. I'm like, yep, it was hot. Yep. I think we cooked it. So, but I went, like I said, I just went into Jenny's, ordered another one. I think it was $40 there to get another motor. And, I'm just going to call it good enough and, swap it in. So, but again, it's set up just like all the rest, except driver error. Same basic motor and all that. It shouldn't have done what it did, because I mean, a lot of us have been running the Big Rocks, the Granites, all that, and not many of us have done this to the motors. So, again, I think the wheels are going to be a little bit different. They don't really balloon, and so maybe that as well. The getting that movement going with them might be a little bit more, but it shouldn't be enough that we're dealing with the temps like that. So. Yeah, I think riffraffs, you're right. So that's the thing. And I try and say it with all RCs, and I did it with the one today. Funny enough, right before I started working on this video, I went out and shot one with those batteries. Then I came in and sat down and watched this video, and I just literally stuffed in battery after battery, and I was like, I didn't check temps. So I definitely, for people that are getting these, any of them, any RC, honestly, well, I mean, something that we just got to remember. Like, we want to just have continuous fun. We talk about, we want, 10,000 milliamp hour batteries so we can go forever. Well, if you're going to do that, make sure you gear it in a way that it'll allow it to go forever, because otherwise you're going to shorten, you may have longer run times, but you're going to shorten the life of your electronics if you're not being careful. Kind of like I did. What's going on, Pat? Oh, that'd be cool. Motors should have color changing temperature sensitive decals to indicate temps. That would be wicked. Like the little things that they have on a fish tank where it increases, show you your temp. Or if it just went from being like green to red, when green to orange to red. But yeah, I'm gonna post up the videos. Like I said, I don't try and hide any of this stuff. I just literally was getting to it because I just blew up the motor. So I'm editing this one, and I actually, because of that 230 thing, when I went in there to do it, I recorded a whole little video to put at the end of it, where I'm just kind of sitting explaining what I'm doing now about what I realized probably happened, and I didn't realize it at the time. Because in the next video, you're going to see it blow up after almost no runtime. So it's kind of a little bit of a warning, but it felt better to address it at the end of that video than wait for it to happen in the next one, in case somebody didn't see one or the other. So I'll end both of them by kind of explaining what I think happened. But this is a longer form of it because I feel like it's good to share this kind of information with people, because one, it really deals with things that we need to take into account with all of our cars. And two, I think, because a lot of people are going to want to say, oh, these cars are bad, stay away from them. When it's this, honestly, it's the same thing that's been in all of these V3s and we haven't had issues with. And it really comes down to me being a knucklehead and trying to do too much and trying to get too much content out, because guess why? It gets views. And so what was I doing? I chased the views and I blew up the car. I was trying to get out some of the earliest bash footage. So that's the honest answer to it. More than it being their fault, it's my fault. And I was trying to chase views. But everyone's saying thermometers. I had this stinking app that told me the temperature if I'd have just had it open. And I had it on top of my controller instead of down in recording mode. Yeah, Jess is right. Jessica says the old saying was, can you touch the motor for 5 seconds? That's what I did with the Mojave today. And I said, ouch, nope. We're going to temp gun this, see how far we got. But yeah, somebody is making temp patches. See, that's perfect. Like a Coors can, the motor turns blue and red. What's going on, Venom G54? And if you saw in the video, so he's right. Venom G54 is right. He says it happens, but it's fun along the way. What's up, Tony in chat? It does happen. I didn't freak out when it happened. Like I said with my son, I said, you win some, you lose some. So it's a little bit of an expensive mistake. So I ended up dropping at Jenny's. I spent $130, and some of you will say, well, you got the car for free, so it doesn't matter. Well, yes and no. I wouldn't have been spending $130 fixing it if I didn't have it. So yeah, it's in one of those tricky things. I want to be able to do the videos, show you guys how they work. So I want to get the same setup that was in it and then do it right next time. So I went and bought a new slipper assembly, and I just bought the whole assembly instead of the spur gear. And then I got a new motor. So Gonna have to get a new heat sink and fan as well, turns out, because they wanted me to send the whole thing back. So I'll have to go in and buy that as well. Because it's gonna need the heat sink and fan, guys. That is for sure. You're gonna want those. I do have a game changer fan that I could just put on it. Maybe that's what I'll do. Put the game changer in there and not do the rest. That might work. Old and Slow says I overcooked an HPI Flux 6900 kV. Ooh, in my boat overpropping it once. Yeah, it happens. King Stoic, definitely a fan. Yep. Yeah, Pat's right too. I mean, and I say that at other times too. It's not free when you spend hours editing. And again, you get it, and then you have to buy stuff for it that you wouldn't normally be buying to keep up another car, and so there's also expenses paid into it as well as hours and time. But I totally agree, Pat. Um, but I did take the chance though when I ordered it all to also order a new set of 4 drive shafts for the Big Rock. So that was like my first real break. Is I pulled out one of the hubs or whatever, the whole, I actually broke off the screw and the nut in the wheel off of the hub on the car. Oops. And instead of trying to find all the parts and whatever to get that set back up right, I just ordered 4 new ones. I'll keep them in a bag. As you know, you got 2 of these cars now that run the same drive shafts. Might as well have some spares. So all you guys are talking, you have fans. Jessica, you saved $5 today. BS, I spent 80, right? So, but so same thing happens, like, so, and that's the thing, is it all depends on how you look at things too. Like, so I wasn't super upset about it breaking. I mean, I kind of was, because I want to make more videos of it. That's what really kind of got me. But the rest were like, you know what, I'll fix it. It's not a huge deal most of the time with these things. But like, so the same, I have the Raminator and paid 3,200 for that thing shipped with an extra body and stuff, parts and stuff I ordered. And stuff breaks on that too. Like, I'll be out, day's done. You can't not upset about it. I'm usually stoked about how cool the run was, whatever. I bent a shock and we're done. But man, did I have fun up to that point. And I'd say the same thing with the Vortex. That was some of the most fun. That bash was absolutely insane. The car handles so well. That's why I didn't want to stop. Not very often do I just kind of just run 2 battery packs through a car. Usually after one, or even before one is done, I'm usually like, all right, that was a good run. I'm ready to put that back on the shelf. I feel good about it. I had my RC time, good 12 minutes. I feel pretty good. So that one, I didn't want to be done because it was ripping and it was wicked fun. So I kind of got myself on that because it wasn't breaking. And when you see it, there's some hard hits and it wasn't breaking. I was just like geeked about it. But that's the breaks. It happens. Big and cool RC school. The breaking news was an actual break. The news was I broke my vortex motor. Broke it. So, seeing what is happening here. My phone's been blowing up tonight. So the breaking news was a real break, and at the same time, so there's several things totally rounded out my slipper. And I'll be the first one to say, so I absolutely love the 3S lineup by Arma. I've said it. I got rid of my Max. I got rid of my Haas. I got rid of my Team Associated. I got rid of, what else did I get rid of? That might be it. Max. Oh no, my Creighton 4S. Max, Creighton 4S, Haas, and the team associated because of the Big Rock. It's like I don't need all this other stuff. This thing handles so awesome. I love how it drives. I love how it handles on the ground, how it jumps through the air. The rest of them, the Creighton 4S, I did like, but I didn't find myself running. That 3S is that sweet spot. It's easy to charge up a 3S pack, slip it in there, get going, and whatever. Just felt good and felt right. So I just got rid of the rest of them. I donated to like a boys camp, the Max and the Creighton 4S. I sold the Haas and I sold the team associated. But yeah, I kept the Big Rock. I actually like the Haas. Of those cars that I got rid of, I probably liked the Haas the most. Out of the Creighton 4S, the Max, and the team associated, I probably like the Haas the most. Crazy, I know. I probably am alone in saying that as well. So yeah. Wow. Vintage A stamp RC10 to fill the hole. That's cool. But yeah, so it feels like a sweet spot to me. A couple reasons. I don't feel like I break them that much. They're lightweight. Typically because I can run multiple packs like like I did. 2 3S batteries with the 3S lineup means more runtime. 2 3S batteries in the 6S lineup means one set of runs. You're running them both in order to fill the 6S. You don't get that much more speed from it. They do handle better because they're heavier, but I feel like they break easier too. So that 3S lineup is really like, I really like it. So what I didn't say that I was getting to, because I'm a rambler, is that I don't love the slipper clutch. And so the reason that I bought a new slipper clutch when I messed up that spur gear was because sometimes when I take those apart, I can't get them to work again. And I know other people have had that problem. It's hit or miss. And I didn't feel like dealing with it with this new car. I just wanted to run. So I just ordered a whole new assembly all together that can just drop in there as a replace. I'll get another spur gear and do a replacement on it. But if it doesn't work, I'm out $5 on that one. So, but it's ready to go if I do have it happen again. So that's what I was trying to say. But again, for $40, the motor isn't that bad on Jenny's RC. Addicted to RC says, never getting rid of the Max. My big rack can't really compete with the wide Max with metal drive shafts. It's a beast. It's a beast. It is. Wide Max. I had it. It handled like crap. It could take a beating. I watched people at USTE and you watch it and you're like, wow, that's really tough. And then you realize, wow, it's really tough because they never land it and it's always cartwheeling and they're slamming the ground weird. And that's what I realized I didn't like about it. So my driving style has changed. I went from just throwing stuff in the air and laughing at how many times it flipped and crashed and kept driving to like wanting to have more control of it. So that's why I got rid of the Max. And even the Haas had more control and less likely to roll over and less bounce back and flip on landing. That for me, that's it. The Haas was the Max was probably one of the most durable RCs I've ever owned, but durability that doesn't do it for me anymore. I'd rather have a somewhat not fragile, but I'd rather have a car that breaks but drives really well and is awesome to drive than a car that's indestructible but you can't control it and do what you really want it to do. And that's kind of how I felt about the Max. Here's the answer. What's new today? The slipper clutch comes with that black plastic piece that's optional to use, but you need the optional shorter input gear. Using the above will solve the slipper loosening all the time, which was the problem I was having. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not saying anything to be negative to Traxxas or whatever. It's a solid car. It's just not my style. I love the X-Max. The X-Max is super drivable and super stable and handles exactly like I'd want it to. But the Haas with the bunny hops and the I liked how it handled it. When you'd corner, it would dive just like the X Max does, and I was really hoping that the Max would do. And no matter how I tuned the shocks with Wide Max kit, I just wasn't into it a whole lot. So that's all. Everybody's got their favorites. So my favorite's the LMT, right? Super Drakes. That's really where I'm at. So that's what I would want the Max to be. And I feel like the LMT handles more predictably than some of those other ones and lands on their wheels more than the others as well. But yeah, I need to get another X Max. I need to find a way to do that. Because I would actually, the X Max is more my style of trucks as far as the big ones go. Because it is more monster truck like in the way that it handles. And I like monster trucks. I still want to try an Outcast 8S though. I haven't tried one yet. Riff Raffs RC, thank you, man. $10 towards the new motor. That is awesome. You guys are so cool. That will definitely go into the Vortex repair fund. Because I'm going to keep that thing running. No matter what I got to do to it, I liked it that much that we'll get it. We'll keep it running. When you see the video of it, I'll just throw up some of it here. I don't know how choppy it is for you guys. Maybe it's like super chop. I don't even know if I got it on camera. I got to try it again because I think I missed it. But it was handling so good. Lots of control. It would slide out if you had the AVC off, which I loved. You could make it so it wouldn't slip so much if you turned it off. Maybe had a good amount of rear end kick on it. Here's what I'm trying to get it to front flip, which is usually a good way to break something. There it is. Oh. Now I will say front flips. Here's where I even give a warning. Hear that? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hear that? Now I will say front flips end a lot of times with breakage. So yeah. I'm doing this. So that's about 10 minutes in. It's already got some noise. You're whipping it this hard. You can break something. Oh, perfect. Woo. I don't even know if I got it on camera. I got to try it again because I think I missed it. Anyway, it was just handling so well and so much fun. We'll keep this guy running. And I really want to run it side by side with the Big Rock and see how they do. All right, Pats, RC, see you, man. Have a good airport run. Yeah, Garrett, it does. It is pretty planted. And that footage that I was showing there isn't even, that was me trying to front flip it. But I literally was just nonstop running this thing, hitting the big jumps, ripping around the yard, and just having a hoot. Had to gas it again. Let's see one of the big ones here. You guys are getting all the little teasers of it. That's not very much approach. Down. So guys, lots of control. ABC is nice in this very loose dirt I have right now. Yeah, what's new today? Yeah, it was really just I cooked it. Because then you're not ABCing anything. It doesn't help if the wheels are off the ground. Well, the motor, something in the motor broke. It's chunked up in there. Ooh, very crooked takeoff. But it was just nonstop bash fest. So yeah, I didn't break anything as much as I just kind of overcooked the motor and caused problems. So that's a little barbecue, as Riff Raff said. Anyway, I don't know if there's any questions. I think I described kind of what I did wrong. But I don't blame the car for it as much as I blame myself. And as I watch back and I look at it, I shake my head at all the signs that were there, and I totally ignored the whole time. So, very rookie mistake, and I'm no longer a rookie to blame it on. Am I going to do an autopsy? No, I sent it away so they could do an autopsy and verify that that is what I did. Warranty issue. They would probably look at the inside of that and say, "Did you put this in the oven?" There is an ESC heat cutoff. There should be. It should be like 230 typically. It cut off on me when the ESC was at 230. But that doesn't necessarily mean the motor wasn't hotter. What's new today? I do have some motors I could put in. I thought about just swapping the whole Big Rock stuff in and just, plug and play, take the whole assembly out, slide it into that car and just keep running. I may do that, but I actually, and I would have done it probably if I didn't have a work trip that I'm going on. So I'm going to be on the road for a little bit. And so I won't be doing, I've got a few videos saved up. I'll be able to launch while I'm gone. It's a pretty awesome trip that I'm going on actually. And we're getting to interview some pretty high profile people. So I get to run some camera stuff. I've got my new Pelican case here. Check this out. It's got the green accents on it, just like I do with my cars, black, white, and green. So all my lighting, not even lighting. So that's like my monitors pack. I've got 2 Atomos Ninja monitors in there, and then batteries. Batteries for the monitors, batteries for light packs, and I've got another huge Pelican style case that's all lighting, 4 light kits. This guy here fits into that Pelican case as well. When it's not giving me that nice sunset glow on my shoulder there. right on the back of the neck there. Andres, thank you, man. $5 for some Game Changer fans. I need to find a way to squeeze it in there. It's a little tight on that side where they put those in. I need to find a way to try and get it on top of it. These chassis are a little small and tight, so we'll have to see. So my goal is, and so this is what is different about my channel probably than a lot of others, where everybody else is chasing upgrades. Before I upgrade a car, I like to try and get as many stock videos as I can so that somebody that were to buy it off the shelf would know what they're in for. So I want to do more run videos of this where it's just straight stock out of the box, stock motor, stock spur setup, pinion gear, all of that. We'll up it to the other pinion gear for speed tests. I don't think that's what this car's for, but to humor the people that always ask how fast it goes, how fast does it go? We'll find out how fast does it go with what comes in the box. So, yeah. Earl Moorhead, I didn't know you're coming to interview me. Sweet. Important People Fund. Earl is an important person. But it's much higher profile than that. So, yes. What's Super Drake saying as an explanation? Oh, okay. Here we go. This is good. Thanks, Super Drakes. Make me feel very amateur here. So, according to Super Drakes, Earl, he ran consecutive battery packs and no cooldown. So, hot knife and melted butter equals smooth pinion and roasted motor. That's about a perfect summation of what I did to the car. Yep. I will say to my defense that I was trying to get content for you guys of it running, and I had limited time and a very small window of the sun that I was trying to shoot for. So you could add that to your summary, that it was a necessity based on the Weather Channel app and climate conditions, current and future climate conditions, being the sun setting being one climate condition, rain the following days as another climate condition. So, yeah, you see where we're going with that. So what you're saying is it's your fault. I wasn't trying to point fingers, Chef, but if you want to point fingers, you feel free to go right on ahead. So, JMRCs, I have more things that I do wrong other than assembly with RC cars. It's not always just Tony 2 time. This was Tony 2 hot. All right, Sean's RC Adventure Man, take care. So I was late today because of this trip coming up, and tomorrow's my last kind of day packing up and trying to get all of my gear packed, plus some room for clothes. I don't know what I'm going to do for that at the moment, but my kids, we had to go take care of my mom's camper and do some, replace one of those anode rods or whatever in her water heater and some things before I left town. And then we got home and they wanted to play a game, something to do with me, because I've been working. Like, I work right now up till dinner, straight till about almost 5:45. We eat dinner. I'll spend a few minutes and then I go back to work in the evening till 2 a.m. usually. So we decided we're going to play Catan because tomorrow night, packing days with packing gear, I pack and repack and pack and pack. So no matter how ready I think I am, I always tear stuff apart till about midnight. So we played Catan, and we didn't even get started because of heading to my mom's after dinner until 8:20. And so we finished about 9:30, 9:29. They're like, your show's on. I'm like, yeah, well, it's going to take me a minute to get ready. So that's why I was late. We wanted to have some fun hanging out. How's it going, Matthew Sim? JMRCs, I am going to pack an SCX-24 on the trip. I am going to, yes. I don't know which one yet, though. Or I could take my Kyosho. Nah, I can't charge it like it's AAA's. Yeah. Barry King says use beer batter before you fry it. There you go. Make it taste better. So yeah. Anyway, I've got at least one SCX-24 going. I'll probably take my new red deadbolt. I really like the red deadbolts. Not the red ones. I like the deadbolts. The green one just needs a new motor put in it. So yeah. Super Drakes, don't ask me to explain things. Fry time. Hi, YSU printmaking. So yeah, I think that's about it. Hearthstone, your modern day Robin Hood giving content to the needy. I think you're talking about Earl. I'm just a hack. A hack that fries motors. Yeah. Arma should be very leery of me. When the infraction came out, I was doing too many burnouts and overheating the ESC on that one. The motor wasn't overheating. It was the ESC on that. But, well, maybe it was. I think they both were. When one gets hot, it tends to make the other. They were just working too hard. So I remember I put the fans on on the motor and it did help. But it was definitely having cutoff, which was good. It was cutting off. It wasn't destroying the motor. But once we got the fans on, and I actually pinioned down because I was all about doing the burnouts, and I was good to go. And I think that's what I'll do with the Vortex. I noticed that V2 Vid said he was going to go with a lower pinion, and I think that's what I'm going to do with the Vortex as well. I mean, 40 miles an hour is plenty fine for me bashing, and it's going 50 right now. I don't need all that top end as much as I need just that low quick speed. So yeah. How's it going, Brandon? Tony too hot. 2-time Tony. Yeah, we need to make all of, and what was it? Tony torture test, TTT, triple T. That's what Josh used to say from Midlife RC. Because I break so many of them. Give it the Tony torture test. That's good, man. If you're late printing, that's good news. But yeah, I'm curious about the that new Losi Vitera. That's for sure. The V100. So the night before that dropped, one of the local hobby shop guys in the thread with who was it? It was on was it on? I think it was on the takeover with Josh and Matt, Scale Builders Guild representing, and Harley, and they mentioned that somebody said that in the future all of the Vitera parts were going to have Losi numbers on it, and that next day it would have been because they were Wednesday, and then Thursday there was the announcement for the Camaro, the 69 Camaro V100 by Losi, which is like a Vitera V100. So Earl again, man. Earl's spending his lunch money. Thank you, dude. Us hacks. You're not the hack though. You're the one I go to when I have issues that I need to figure out. What has Earl done with his RC? That's probably what I need to do with mine. I will say I've learned quite a bit though in the last 7 years. Thinking back, it's been a good ride. Had my minivan apart this weekend. I didn't. I was helping a guy who had my minivan apart this weekend in our driveway. New alternator and new valve cover seal. So there's a lot to take apart to get at all those in the Kia. But it got done. Earl Moorhead says he knows where every telephone pole in Cali is. Have you been to the new JJ Custom spot? Tony the Torch sounds like a mafia nickname. RC Show Off just sold his Vitera V100. Thought it was discontinued. There's going to be parts again. Low CV100 parts. The Kia did have a 10,000 mile, 100,000 mile, 10-year warranty. It has, it's 12 years old and it has 160 some thousand miles on it. And funny thing is, my wife had said the day before that one of her coworkers just had to drop all this money on their Honda minivan. And then they got to where they were going and then something else went wrong and they had to drop another $500 or something. And we were talking about how good this Kia has been to us. We're like, man, this thing is like oil and tires and brakes. Oil, tires, brakes. That's all we've had to do with this thing. And next day, I'm driving home. I don't even know why I took it instead of my Jeep. I almost always drive my Jeep now. But I was driving it, and all of the lights came on. All of them in the dashboard. And then, like, power started dipping. Brakes were kind of wonky. The next day, we have an awesome mobile mechanic, though, that comes and helps us out. Riff Raffs, man. We are right at that motor. What are we now? Like $30? That's right at that replacement motor from Jenny's. I think I paid $40 for it. Although $5 of it is going toward the Game Changer fans. It's an extra $5. But he's throwing down for that motor I cooked. He's feeling bad for me. I've got to come before the world tomorrow in my video and say how dumb I was right after I say it's 230 miles an hour or 230 degrees. Then I go and talk about how awesome the run was and da 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 da. Man, it was Lincoln, and I'm just like totally oblivious to the fact that I just said I was at 230 degrees on the ESC. I just kind of, all right, next thing I got to do is, I'm in that mode of like, knock this out. Like, okay, unboxing the Bluetooth thing, run video. It's going awesome. So what I did was, and so here's what happened is I wanted to do one where I was getting more close-ups of it, where I was getting the camera in. So I threw in that other battery. And then that second battery is really where I got those shots I used in that slow motion video where I, tracked the car and all that. But it was just like, and then the end, I need an outro for the video. And I might have even shot an intro up at the garage after that. I took it back up and in fact, I'm pretty sure I did. Anyway, just not even realizing, comprehending what's going on with the car in that moment. Earl, man, holy cow. Earl Moorhead slams down. I can't see the super sticker because I'm in StreamYard. But I'm sure it's a nice sticker. And that motor is now bought and paid for by you guys. That's awesome. You guys are so cool. Oh my gosh. No way. Andre's now he'd give me for the fans. Now he's giving me money for the motors. Double cha-ching. You guys are nuts, man. Yeah, smoking motors. I should have worn my smoking motors shirt. Ah, you're so right. That's a failed opportunity. That would have been the perfect opportunity for that shirt. I'll tell you what. You guys are awesome. I'll put that toward the heat sink or something. Man, I'll tell you, it's gonna be nuts. I've got to after this finish up that video. I've got the wrap up I have to do, and the audio is coming from here, so I got to do like a audio sync and all that to get it to the camera, match it up, put it at the end, and output that. Get it ready for tomorrow. Then I'll have the burn up one where it actually goes out happen. And then I have the Raminator running, and then I have the Mojave. So I have a few videos for that time that I'm gone. And then we'll come back. It's going to be busy. I said it in the other podcast that I did today that things are busy. Chef Beardsley, iced tea on me. We should do that for the after party. Just wear it when you install the new motor. That's a good idea. I should make one. Hearthstone, you making a video about the new low CLMT axle housing? I'd like to see how tough they are. I've been running them. I was running them and not allowed to talk about it until they were announced, but they were much tougher. So it takes it to the next level. It's honestly where it should have been. I honestly felt like they were pretty strong from the beginning, from the get-go, for the amount of stuff I put it through. But now, having seen them breaking, this takes it even to the next level, and really is where it probably should have been when they came out. So it's never going to be unbreakable when it's plastic like this with a heavy truck and solid axle. There's going to be break points, but this is better than it was by quite a bit. I haven't seen the stickers yet. I really want to see somebody's stickers. Yeah, after YouTube's take, you'll be able to pay for the motor. Yes. Romo Head, we'll be here when you get back, I'm sure. Yeah, man. I haven't flown in. Well, the last trip I would have been to England and Scotland for work, for shooting videos in the end of January, beginning of February-ish. And then I think that's the last flight that I took. And that would have been in the beginning of 2020. And I'm used to being on a plane like a lot. So it's been really weird. It's been good being home, that's for sure. And it's really helped with the channel and growing and my own, projects and stuff we're doing here. So I'm liking being home, but I'm looking forward to getting in and doing some more work, being behind the camera more than doing as much editing as I'm doing. So I've been slowly getting more and more shooting gigs. In fact, that's what I've been doing a lot of recently. So, but they've been local or within driving distance. And so this one will be going to Florida, sunny Florida, which is nice. And then to DC. And so, yeah, there's some political stuff we're going to be doing. And it'll be interesting. I luckily just have to camera on this one. I'm not producing, which I like those. I just, you go up, set up your cameras, get it how they want it, get the lighting right. I can do those days all day long. Like, those are fun. Producing's fun as well, but there's not as much stress on me when I just have to do camera. So yeah. He says it takes students of Scotland every other year. Glasgow Prince Studio represent. Very cool. We were in Edinburgh. And one of my favorite places in Edinburgh was Brewdog. Man, what an awesome place. They have one now in Ohio, I found out. Super Drakes, man, taking care of the taxes. Thank you, dude. You guys are too cool. I know where Clearwater is. My aunt and uncle were in Clearwater for years. My brother lived with them for a while when he was in college. My brother got married near there on the coast, which is, what's it called? It starts with an S. I'm not sure. I'm blanking on it. My uncle lived there for a while. On my other side of the family, they've got that really huge bridge, and one of them collapsed, and the new one is next to it, like the Skyway Bridge or whatever. St. Pete. That's it. But flying, and the thing that stinks is I had so much mileage and so many perks with Delta. I was I would pay to be their Sky Club like business account so I could take people in with me, and you know, it was always gold or platinum, and for flying, which always meant upgrades and priority check-in, priority boarding. Now nothing. I think I'm still locked in, just whatever they locked me in at silver just because of COVID, but it's all dropping. It's a bummer. When you have to travel a lot, those perks make a big difference because it's not comfortable to fly, especially when you're as big as I am. I'm not a small guy. See ya, RC School. Sleep. What's sleep? Yeah, we're gonna be over on the other side. I think like Fort Lauderdale. And where are we going? I should know. Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale area. Lauderdale. Ooh, all new iMac? When was that announced? Interesting. Nice area over on the East Coast. Yeah. Where we're going to be filming is going to be pretty nice. Back to coach for me, JMRC says. Yeah, so the real bummer is I almost only exclusively fly Delta, Air France, KLM. And I try not to fly Air France if I can. KLM or Delta would be the choice, my two choices. Not flying through Paris. And of the partners of that airline, Air France is just snooty, and you never got any of your perks or benefits when you were with them. So you could only go into the lounge in Paris if you flew business class, which is stupid expensive. With KLM, they would actually honor my paid pass with Delta to go into theirs in Amsterdam, which was a really nice lounge to hang out in when you're stuck there for hours and need a place to sleep. Anyway, Super Drake, see you, man. Thank you for paying the taxes, man. Hit up Oink Restaurant. So, RC, where was that? Why YSU. We hit up a bunch of places down the strip there. We were all over Edinburgh. Every night we walked and we went many places. And I think, did we go to Oink? I don't think so. We went to, there was a really large one that had like a bunch of little restaurants out in the outer area of it, like the gated area. And then there was a big restaurant inside. That's where we went for the Super Bowl. And then we went to several music places, and we saw a punk band there, and we saw like a death metal band in another place. It was a wild time. It was so much fun. And we also did one in Leeds. We went to a show in Leeds, just kind of crashed in and heard music, and that's where we wanted to be. But yeah, so once I get back, we'll have some things. Then we're gonna head to Georgia. My boys and I go to the fur baby crawl, and then we've got the World Finals. I'm supposed to be getting a tractor apiece, and hopefully we'll get out there with the tractor, dig up all the dirt, and get it fresh before that. And then after that, I fly to Florida again for another shoot, and then we drive to Indiana for Axial Fest, and then I drive to St. Louis for a shoot from there, because it's only about 3 hours. And I think we're able to schedule it that way, so I don't have to fly there later. And then maybe Michigan to see family, and then back. So it's going to be pretty crazy the next 8 weeks. 8 to 12 weeks are going to be pretty intense. So we'll still be posting stuff up here. But yeah. Raquel, what's going on? The breaking news is that I broke my vortex motor. I cooked it way too hot. Wasn't paying attention. We should have left up what Super Drake said. He did a very good, very concise synopsis of what happened with me overheating it. But it's too far up for me to scroll and get it. But basically, I ran 2 battery packs through it without a break, any cool down time, and we cooked it. So at the end of running the 2 battery packs, the ESC on my Spectrum dashboard app said it was 230 degrees. And I can't even imagine what the motor was. So I think also that one of my hard landings might have made it slide a little bit, the motor, because the gear mesh sounds like it got tight as I watched it back and play back the video. Sounds a little bit like it gets tight, which then is going to make it just run hotter. And I think that the heat made things come unglued or come undone, and now it's pretty much locked up. It spins, but the whole shaft moves around and it'll get stuck. So there's issues. And I take full responsibility for it, because looking back and watching through the footage, knowing what has happened, I kind of see how it happened. So yeah, blame myself. That's awesome, Raquel. An 8S. I was just saying I'd love to drive one of those. I haven't tried it. Blacksmith RC is in the house. What's going on? Is there a motor fan on it? Hearthstone on the Vortex there is. Yeah, guys, hit that like button. We're going to wrap up here. Any questions about anything RC related, anything channel related, any questions before we wrap up? We'll end with a little Q&A, and then I've got to finish doing some work. Oh, got these cool new headers for the Bigfoot ZEI chassis. These are going to look really good on there. The metal ones are super awesome, but these are more scale. Jimmy Regan, what did you miss? You just missed me ramble for a while about how much of a noob I still am at RCing and how I destroyed my vortex because of operator error. Do I plan on getting into drones at all, specifically FPV? No. Too many regulations around it and the programming of it. I just don't have time, and it's really hard to film them. And I don't love watching just the footage from inside the FPV. I mean, I like watching on other people's, but I got tired of it after a while. Some of the tricks, and yeah, so I just don't see it having a life on my particular channel. They're fun to fly, but I sold all my goggles and all that I had. Somebody asked Trill or Vidavon. I like the Vidavon. I like the way that the diffs go into the Vidavons. The only thing with them is you are locked in on a few things with them that you aren't with the Trill. The Trill, you can make your rears into front axles and vice versa, and there's more adaptability that way. Thoughts on the Trill servo saver for the LMT? Haven't tried it ever. I'm a big fan of my Freestyle RC ones, though. I know they're hard to get. But there's servoaf.com as well that has a very similar one. I've never tried it, so I don't know. Jessica says, years is not smarts. Been RCing 30 something years. Just cut myself with a screwdriver. Oh, that's funny. Okay, I've seen some chase footage. Yes, that's cool. If you're using it for filming an RC car, I could see that. But I don't usually have other people here running them, and I'm not in an area where I could fly them and do it. We have a lot of military stuff around here with the Navy and Air Force stuff, and it's just a lot of regulations and a lot of problems flying them. And we don't have many big open areas where we run the RCs where we'd be able to do a chase that we run at. I've seen it though, and it looks awesome. Some of the chase stuff. Somebody else I just saw that was doing it. I saw yours doing it, and Brian Reynolds did a lot of speed stuff with the Limitless, all that when it came out. I think I want to say it's Brian Reynolds. And he was doing some stuff with it, chasing him. But yeah. See you, Joe. Sean says monster trucks hitting the fairgrounds this summer out here in Ohio. That's awesome. Says thanks for the input. Never seen that freestyle servo saver in stock. Yeah, I've seen. Now I saw that JERRC had I don't know what he had. He had some kind of servo saver that looked like the Proline Big Hit one that they used to have. With the screw in the end. But I don't know where it came from, if it's something he's prototyping or what, but I saw one on one of his trucks, and I've seen that servo AF where it has basically the same setup as the Freestyle RC. I just don't know if the spring weights are the same, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I know that the Freestyle ones are like drop in direct fit. So yeah, they've been great. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to wrap this up here. We've been going for an hour 30 just talking about how careless I was with my RC and the consequences of being careless. So, and it really comes down to, stuff happens, and that's kind of where I leave it. And I don't think that, my first thing isn't going to be like to go out and try and bash any company because of it. Because have had other cars with this same motor in it, and I've had no issues with it. I also haven't ever really done this where I back to back them so closely, and don't give it a little break. And usually, like the backyard has changed a lot, and so I'm much more able to stay on throttle and just hit jump after jump after jump and slide. And it's kind of changed the way I drive. So I'm on throttle a lot more than I used to be. And so I think it's my own need to get used to realizing that when you're just on full throttle that much, you have to give them a break. And I didn't give it a break, and this is what happened. So, but yeah, I'm not going to chew anybody out. I just am saying, just be aware of it. Make sure you're checking these things. Unlike I did not check it. It's so easy to just lift the body up a little bit, especially these bodies are thin enough. You can peel it back, put your finger in there, and see how hot the motor is. If you can't keep your finger on it, stop running for a little bit. Let it cool down. While you do that, check back some of your footage, post it to Instagram, whatever. Take pictures of it while it's sitting there, put it in some cool spots. There's stuff you can still do while you're waiting for it to cool down. And that's what I realized. And I said it, like I said it. We'll see in the Mojave video. I say it. And then I come in and see my ignorance in this video. Don't even take my own advice sometimes. But so just be aware. And I mean, I find that a lot of times when things go wrong, it's my fault. And so many people are quick to judge the companies. And, I think that there's shared blame. There's some things that are just bad quality. But this stuff, I don't feel like it is. And I don't feel like this is something that was missed, one bad motor in the batch. I really think it was my fault. So yeah, I can't stress that enough. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. And we will catch you in a couple weeks. I'm definitely off next week. Should be back the week after that. Might have a guest lined up for it if I can get on the emails and line something up. So, all right. Check you later, guys.